I went on a cruise with my family. We
Yeah.
went to Alaska and had an amazing
wow.
time. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel any different?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm 70 maybe. No, I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were at NAMM, I asked you if you'd be coming to Australia with this tour, and
Yeah.
you said if you would, it would be around about September. And
Yeah.
true to your word,
There you go.
here we are. And you're doing the Images and Words album in
Yeah.
its entirety.
Yes, we are.
When you decided that you were going to do that, what was your approach to recreating the sounds of that album? Because you would have been using
Right.
a different stagery back
Yeah.
in the day.
You know what? I didn't really think of it that way. I just, I'm just playing it with my current
Yeah.
sounds and not really thinking, oh, I have to make it sound like whatever gear I used back
Yeah.
then. Because my sounds, in a lot of ways, they've evolved throughout the years. And in some ways, the kind of sounds I go for haven't really changed as far as the type of clean sound I like, and heavy sounds and lead sounds. So yeah, I didn't really go into it with the mentality of let me try to recreate. It was let me do a current version of it as far as my new rig.
Yeah. I saw a video of your guitar tech, Maddie, going through your guitar rack a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I think you had about 10 guitars in the rack, maybe. You have all those with you?
Yeah, we do. We have, for this tour that we're on right now, it's mostly Asia, and there's a couple of European dates, but it's mostly Asia, and some of the flights are pretty long, so we had to actually have an A rig and a B rig.
Right.
And they're pretty much identical.
Yep.
But each rig has about 12 guitars in it, just because there's a main guitar and then a backup for all the tunings that I use.
Yeah. So you have 2 Nomacs with you?
I don't. I only have one Nomac. Yeah, that's the only one. The backup for that, I use that for Our New World, which is a drop D. So I just have a standard Majesty that backs up there. But the Nomac we have to carry around because it's the only one I have.
I was going to say, does it have its own seat?
It should. It really it should be in the cockpit. Really. Yeah. It should be flying.
Is there one particular guitar that you would say is like a workhorse that you use more than others?
You know what? Because of the way the set flows, there's a lot of guitar changes. Whether it's 7-string, using a Majesty, or even the latest JP15, it's the green color, or a different tuning. I play songs that are tuned down to C. Drop D, some are in E flat, some are E flat 7, so the guitars are constantly changing. Yeah. So I don't really get a chance to kind of just favor one because they just shift throughout the show. Yeah.
You've been involved in the development of so many guitars with Music Man.
Yeah.
When they come to you again and say, let's do something.
Yeah.
You still got ideas in mind?
I always have ideas, and we're constantly talking about ideas. I think everybody is very creative, and we're always thinking about the future. And at the same time, we're really happy to focus on what we've done up to this point, because there are so many different models in my line of guitars, and it's important to give them all the love that they deserve, and not move on too quickly from one to the next. But yeah, we constantly have new ideas and are discussing things, even if there are things that are only aesthetic, having to do with maybe different woods or colors or finishes, but it's always fun working with them.
There was talk of an 8-string.
Yeah, so we got into designing an 8-string a while back. Did a bunch of research, asked my 8-string guitar player friends, what were the important elements and aspects, and Drew actually designed a Majesty, an 8-string Majesty, and we have a few different versions with some different fan fret options and stuff. But they're only drawings at this point. We haven't built anything. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. The other connection with Ernie Ball is the Paradigm strings that you use. What was the brief they came to you with when they said, look at these?
Well, it was, Brian really has been spearheading the development of new string technologies and trying to find materials that will last longer, be stronger, and sound great. And you know, he's done that with the M Steel and the Cobalts and everything. And so when they came to me with the Paradigm, yeah, it was, the concept was, you know, these strings sound just like Slinkies, but they're basically unbreakable and they'll last a lot longer. And so it's a great string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Dream Theater, there's no dedicated rhythm guitarist, so it's the duties.
I'm the rhythm guitarist.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's shared, I suppose, with Jordan to a certain extent. Has the way yourself and Jordan work out your parts, has that changed over the years?
Has it changed? I don't think so. I think that they're, you know, the great thing about the way that Jordan and I work together is a really great chemistry. And it's very intuitive, the way we write and go back and forth, and we can almost anticipate what the other player is thinking. And at the same time, there's still a lot of surprises that come our way. But you know, from album to album, the way that I produce them, sometimes there are changes in the way where the instruments sit and how they interact. But I don't think that the you know, the writing nature has really changed. It's been great from the beginning.
Yeah, arpeggios are a big part of your playing. When was the first time you become aware of arpeggios?
Pretty early on.
Yeah.
You know, when I don't remember what I heard for the first time. You know, what made me say, "Hey, what was that?"
Yeah.
But pretty early on in my playing, I probably as a teenager, you know, heard somebody, whether it was Steve Morse or Al DeMille or somebody, play something that was less linear and made me think, all right, well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, and then of course when Yngwie came along, was really, he infused that kind of Paganini use of arpeggios into his like rock and metal playing. That was the first time I heard it to that extent.
Yeah.
And then all those guys that came along doing that, like, you know, in that time period, had really developed it. You know, Vinnie Moore and Tony McAlpine and Jason Becker and all these guys. So it became more of sort of a normal thing for a rock guitar player to have to know how to do. You know, but obviously arpeggios have been around forever.
Yeah,
sure. It's nothing new, but but I was pretty young when I first heard that sound and kind of wanted to wrap my head around how do you do that? You know?
Do you remember your first effects pedal?
My first effects pedal? I'm not sure if I remember the first one particularly. I don't know. I'm sure it was probably a Boss effect of some sort. I had, when I was younger, my rig was very simple. It was a little amp and an MXR Distortion Plus, and I remember even taking that to Berkeley at the time when I was young. But you know, back then I didn't really own a lot of gear and pedals and stuff. But I loved the Boss pedals.
Yeah. Is there any particular pedal that you're enjoying using more than others at the moment?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say my own TC Electronics, Dreamscape, because you know, the sound of that pedal and what it does, being a modulation pedal, it's you know, besides delay and the beauty of that, the sounds of chorusing and flanger and those kind of modulation effects are the kinds of sounds that I sort of grew up with when I would hear Rush and Alex Lifeson when they have that sound, or Randy Rhoads and you know, guys like that. So being able to develop a modulation-based pedal based off of a classic TC pedal, their SCF, and then adding all these options and things and features and modernizing it, made it the ultimate, you know. But you know, that's as far as an effect pedal. But as far as a pedal that you step on, then my Dunlop wah is, you know, again, I tried to explain this because it seems like I'm like, well, am I this, am I that? But there's only a handful. There's only about 5 different things, and they're all companies that I have played that gear since I was pretty much a kid, and kind of always used that thing, and then developed relationships with the people and the companies as a professional, and eventually got to a point where, hey, we should do something together. And then got this unique opportunity, in this case with Dunlop, to do a Crybaby that had my name on it. So in all those cases, I get to the point where we're so on the same page, and I have so much experience with that gear. I know kind of exactly what I'm looking for, and then we always end up with something that's really great and we're really proud of.
Sure.
And even better than that, seeing other people enjoy it and say, man, I got that pedal, it's great, it inspired me, I love the way it sounds. That's what it's all about. So it's really cool.
Your acoustic sounds come through your electric guitars and your effects. Do you still enjoy picking up an acoustic guitar at home?
I do, very much. Yeah, very much so. I've been using Taylor acoustics for a long time, and ever since I got turned on to them a long time ago by a friend, and they've been on most Dream Theater albums. In fact, the last one, our latest album, The Astonishing, had a lot more acoustic playing than is typical from me because of the nature of the album. And so I ended up bringing that on the road, and for the most of the show playing the Taylor on stage. It's 6-string and 12-string. Oh, great. And so yeah, we have a really, a bunch of nice Taylors at home, and my wife has a couple of my kids, and we're all fans of those guitars, and they're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
In August, you presented your first guitar camp.
I did.
How did that go?
Great. It was great. I was a little nervous because it was my first one.
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to do it or what to expect. So I had prepared a lot, and fortunately, not only does the company that put that on have so much experience and a great staff, which made it a lot, so much easier, but the people that I invited as far as the guest instructors were just phenomenal.
Yeah,
they were wonderful.
Tony
Tosin, Jason Richardson, Andy McKee, Andy James, Devin Townsend, Rusty Cooley, and the guys were a lot of those guys are instructors as well as being professionals, so it made for like a great learning environment, and the kids really loved it. The kids, the grown-ups, they all had a great time. They said they'd come back if we do it again. We're going to do it again next year, so
fantastic.
Yeah, it was really cool.
In 2005, you released a solo album.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of going down that road again?
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts of that. In fact, I feel a little guilty because we just announced the new G3 tour.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, I still don't have a solo album, doing another G3 tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, my biggest thing I've been saying, and it sounds like an old excuse, but as you've probably seen with Dream Theater's schedule, it's just really hard to break away to get the time to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Just as an example, after this Asian tour, we go straight into a U.S. tour, hit the holidays, then G3 starts, and that goes, so it's kind of a continuous thing. But I will find a way. I have a lot of material. I have played some of it live, without a second album actually released, so I'll continue to do that. And so yes, I'm going to do it.
And for Dream Theater, heading into 2018, a new recording?
We're going to, after the U.S. run, which ends before the holidays, that'll wrap up the Images anniversary tour. And then I have the whole G3 thing, which will be a lot of fun.
Phil Collins.
Yeah, Phil Collins and Joe, of course. Joe has a new album coming out, so that'll be exciting. And that'll take me through a bunch of the first part of next year. And then Dream Theater will be in the studio, later in the year.
Right, John, it's been great to catch up with you.
Cool.
Again. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you. Okay. Awesome.